Hey everyone, welcome to Broken Bonds, my channel. Buckle up, because today I'm laying it all bare. This is my story, my author's story. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next chapter of this messed up saga. Get ready for shattered dreams in the city. It all blew up about 6 months back. My wife Sarah announced she was off to Boston for a work thing, a conference. A few days, she said, like it was no big deal. 10 years down, 2 kids in the mix, Ethan and Lily, 7 and 5. A beautiful mess. Life in our brownstone in Brooklyn was a whirlwind. Sure, juggling school runs, soccer practice, and mountains of laundry, but beneath the surface chaos. I thought we were solid. Rock solid. Turns out, I was living in a fool's paradise. Looking back now, the red flags are blindingly obvious, like neon signs screaming in my face. Sarah had become a ghost in our house. Distant, preoccupied. Suddenly, family movie nights were a chore. Weekend trips to the park felt forced. Intimacy? Let's just say the spark had fizzled to barely an ember. I, being the oblivious, well-meaning husband, chalked it up to work stress. Her job at the ad agency had been insane lately, deadlines looming, pressure mounting. So, like any good guy, I stepped up, took over dinner duty, handled bedtime solo, tried to create a sanctuary at home where she could just breathe. Months ticked by, and things seemed to level out. Or so I desperately wanted to believe. I clung to the illusion of normalcy like a drowning man to a raft. Then, out of the blue, my phone buzzed. Tuesday morning. Mike, my old college roommate, name flashing on the screen. "Hey man, you gotta see this," the text read. Attached was a photo. My thumb hovered over it, a weird premonition prickling my skin. I tapped it open. The world tilted on its axis. It was Sarah, no doubt about it, but not Sarah in a stuffy conference room in Boston, PowerPointing marketing strategies. This was Sarah bathed in golden sunlight, palm trees swaying in the background, the endless turquoise of the ocean stretching behind her. Not Boston, not even close. This was paradise. Some tropical escape ripped from the pages of a travel magazine. But the postcard-perfect scenery wasn't the real punch to the gut. It was who was standing next to her. A guy. Tall, bronzed, hair tousled by the sea breeze, designer sunglasses perched on his nose. And his arm. His arm was casually slung around Sarah's waist, possessive, intimate. They were laughing, heads bent close, sharing some private joke, their bodies leaning into each other. They looked like lovers on vacation, like a couple lost in their own world, oblivious to everything else. My breath hitched in my throat. My stomach plummeted to my shoes. A cold sweat broke out on my forehead. This couldn't be real. This had to be some kind of sick joke. I stared at the photo, my vision blurring, the tropical paradise morphing into a personal hell. I felt a wave of nausea rise, bile stinging the back of my throat. I wanted to throw up. Right then and there, my fingers, suddenly clumsy and numb, fumbled to type a reply to Mike. "Yeah, that's her," I managed, my voice catching in my throat. Where did you get this?" "Posted yesterday," he texted back instantly. Instagram, public profile, some travel blogger. Weird, huh? Just thought you should know. My hands started to shake, a tremor that spread through my whole body. I stared at my phone. The image of Sarah and the stranger seared into my brain. What the hell was happening? Confront her? Call her right now, demand answers? Or wait? Wait until she walked back through our front door, all smiles and fake stories. My mind raced, a chaotic storm of questions and accusations. Boston, conference, lie. The pieces clicked into place with a sickening thud, each one a hammer blow to my heart. While I was grinding away at work, rushing home to make dinner, tucking the kids into bed, she was, where? Here? With him? Rage, raw and visceral, warred with a crushing sense of betrayal. I had to know the truth, no matter how much it was going to shatter me. The next few days were a blur of forced smiles and hollow conversations. I went through the motions at work, meetings and deadlines fading into a gray haze. I plastered on a cheerful dad face for Ethan and Lily, reading bedtime stories, building Lego castles, their innocent laughter a sharp contrast to the turmoil raging inside me. Every time my phone buzzed, I flinched, half expecting another photo, another piece of the puzzle I didn't want to solve, but couldn't ignore. Finally, Friday night crawled around. Sarah's flight was due in. I drove to LaGuardia, a lead weight in my chest, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles were white. I forced a smile as she emerged from baggage claim, pulling her roller bag, looking perfectly normal, too normal, like nothing was wrong, like she hadn't just detonated a bomb in my life. Hugs for the kids, a peck on my cheek, the usual "how was your week" routine. All practiced, all fake, a performance for an audience of 3, and I was the only one who knew the script was a lie. The photo burned behind my eyes, a constant agonizing reminder of her deception. I waited until Ethan and Lily were sound asleep, their soft breaths filling the quiet house. The silence was suffocating, amplifying the unspoken accusations hanging in the air. Sarah was in the living room, bathed in the blue glow of her phone screen, scrolling through Instagram, oblivious or pretending to be. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the confrontation I knew was inevitable. "Sarah," I said, my voice low, trying to keep it even, to mask the earthquake rumbling beneath the surface. "We need to talk." She looked up, a flicker of something. Apprehension, guilt, darting across her eyes before she could mask it. "What's wrong?" she asked, her voice smooth, too practiced, too innocent. I reached into my pocket, my hand trembling, and pulled out my phone. The photo flared on the screen, a silent accusation. I shoved it towards her. "Care to explain this?" Her eyes widened, a theatrical gasp of shock. For a split second, the carefully constructed facade crumbled, and I saw it again. Guilt, raw and exposed, flickering like a dying flame. But it was gone in an instant, replaced by a practiced mask of wide-eyed innocence. "Oh, that," she said, her voice light, dismissive, as if it were a trivial matter. "It's from the work retreat. I told you about it." "Work retreat?" I scoffed, the words laced with disbelief, with a bitter taste of betrayal. "Your work retreat involves lounging on a tropical beach in some exotic paradise with some guy?" She hesitated, a microsecond of uncertainty, a flicker of doubt in her eyes. Then she doubled down, her voice becoming sharper, defensive. "It's not what it looks like, John. He's just a colleague. Someone must have, taken that photo out of context and twisted it." I laughed, a harsh, humorless sound that echoed in the quiet room. "Twisted it? Really? Someone twisted it by posting a photo of you and your colleague on a secluded beach, looking like you're celebrating your anniversary, not attending a PowerPoint presentation." Her face tightened, the smooth facade cracking further, revealing the jagged edges of her deception. "It's complicated, okay?" she snapped, her voice losing its carefully crafted innocence. "I didn't tell you everything because I didn't want you to worry." "Worry?" I repeated, my voice rising, the carefully constructed calm finally shattering. "Worry about what exactly, Sarah? That you'd lie straight to my face? That you'd sneak off to some tropical island and cheat on me while pretending to be stuck in a conference room in Boston? Is that what I was supposed to worry about?" The anger was a tidal wave now, crashing over me, threatening to drown me. "You're going to stand there, right here in our living room, and tell me you didn't go to the beach with this guy? That this is all some big misunderstanding?" She bit her lip, her eyes darting away, unable to meet my gaze. The walls she had so carefully constructed were crumbling, brick by brick, revealing the ugly truth beneath. "All right. Fine," she finally admitted, her voice barely a whisper, the fight draining out of her. "Okay, you're right. I wasn't working. Not exactly. But it was just a short trip. It didn't mean anything." My fists clenched so tight my nails dug into my palms. I fought to control my breathing, to keep the volcano of rage from erupting. "Didn't mean anything?" I repeated, my voice dangerously low, trembling with suppressed fury. "Sarah, you've been lying to me for months, and you expect me to believe that this trip with another man, a man you're clearly intimate with, didn't mean anything?" She crossed her arms defensively, her chin jutting out, a pathetic attempt to regain some control. "I was lonely, John. Don't you get it? You've been so absent, buried in your work. The kids, they're wonderful, but they're exhausting. They take up every second of our time, of my time. I needed a break." "So you took a break with another man?" The sarcasm dripped from my voice, a corrosive acid. "That's your solution? You didn't think to talk to me? To tell me you were feeling lonely? To maybe, just maybe, work on our marriage together? We're married, Sarah. We're supposed to be a team. We talk to each other, remember?" She looked away, the guilt, finally, belatedly, starting to seep in, staining her carefully crafted facade. "I didn't plan for this to happen," she mumbled, her voice barely audible, a pathetic whimper. "Well, congratulations, Sarah," I said, standing up abruptly, pacing the room, the anger a physical force pushing me forward. "You've succeeded. You've managed to completely and utterly destroy our family." The words hung in the air, heavy and final, the death knell of our marriage. "I want a divorce." Her eyes widened, genuine shock replacing the practiced defenses, the carefully constructed lies. "John, wait. No, don't say that. Don't do this. We have Ethan and Lily. Think about the kids. Let's talk about this. We can fix this. I didn't mean for it to go this far." Tears welled up in her eyes, finally, real tears, not the crocodile tears of practiced deception. I shook my head. A slow, deliberate movement, my body numb now, the white-hot rage giving way to a cold, hollow emptiness. "It doesn't matter, Sarah," I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion, a monotone pronouncement of finality. "You made your choice. You chose to lie to me. You chose to cheat on me. And now you have to live with the consequences." Her face crumpled, tears streaming down her cheeks, a mask of despair replacing the carefully constructed innocence. "Please, John," she sobbed, her voice choked with emotion. "Please just think about Ethan and Lily. We can make this work. We can fix this. I promise." I looked at her, at the woman I had shared 10 years of my life with, the mother of my children, and felt nothing. Just a vast, aching emptiness where love and trust used to be. "No, Sarah," I said, my voice unwavering, final. "We can't. I'll always be there for Ethan and Lily. I'll be the best father I can be. But as for us, we're done." She tried to say something else, to plead, to bargain, to beg, but I cut her off, holding up a hand, silencing her desperate pleas. I turned and walked away, leaving her standing there, a broken figure in the wreckage of our shattered marriage. The conversation was over, and so was everything we had built. 6 months. 6 agonizing months crawled by. The divorce was finalized in a sterile, impersonal courtroom downtown, a cold, clinical end to a decade of promises. I got custody of Ethan and Lily. No contest from Sarah. She moved into a soulless apartment in the West Village, a world away from our brownstone, from our life. We agreed to co-parent, to maintain a civil facade for the sake of the kids, but the strain was always there, a palpable tension that crackled in the air whenever we were in the same room. An invisible wall built of lies and betrayal. I still couldn't fathom it. Couldn't understand how she could so casually discard 10 years, a family, everything we had created, for some fleeting, meaningless fling. "It didn't mean anything," she had said, those words echoing in my mind, a constant, mocking refrain. But it meant everything to me. It meant the destruction of my marriage, the shattering of my trust, the fracturing of my family. One crisp autumn afternoon, I took Ethan and Lily to Central Park. The leaves were turning, painting the city in shades of gold and crimson, a beautiful backdrop to the chaos of life. Ethan and Lily were running through the fallen leaves, their laughter echoing through the park, chasing squirrels, their innocent joy a fragile balm to the still raw wounds in my heart. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Mike again. A familiar knot of dread tightened in my stomach. "Hey, just thought you should see this," the text message read. Attached was another photo. I hesitated, my thumb hovering over the image. Did I really want to see? Did I need another dose of salt in the wound? But morbid curiosity, a twisted form of self-inflicted torture, won out. I tapped the photo open. It was Sarah, on a beach, again, smiling, laughing, with him. The same man from the first photo, the stranger who had become the destroyer of my marriage. His arm was around her again, even more possessive this time. They were closer, more intimate, their bodies intertwined. They looked blissfully happy, completely oblivious to the wreckage they had left behind. A wave of something washed over me. Not anger, not pain, not even sadness. Relief. That's what it was. Pure, unadulterated relief. It was over. Finally, truly over. I was free. Free from her lies, her deceit, her betrayal. Free from the suffocating weight of a marriage that had been built on a foundation of sand. I looked down at Ethan and Lily, their faces flushed with exertion, their eyes sparkling with joy, their small hands reaching for mine. A genuine smile touched my lips, a real smile, the first one in months that wasn't forced, wasn't a mask. Life would go on. It had to. And somehow, I knew it would be better, stronger, without her. The city stretched around us, vibrant and alive, a symphony of sounds and colors, a testament to resilience and renewal. And for the first time in months, I felt a fragile sense of peace settle in my chest, a flicker of hope igniting in the darkness. The shattered pieces of my life were still scattered, yes, but maybe, just maybe, I could start picking them up, piece by piece, and build something new, something stronger, something real, something that wouldn't crumble at the first whisper of a lie.